What up, what up, what up? It's Ray V. Let's get it. I'm on a chorus high right now, so they're probably the best parts of the songs anyway, so that's what we gonna get today. Sad boy quote of the day. I still watch our shows. I still get our snacks. Costco's not the same. Neither's driving back. I still watch our shows. I still get our snacks. I still talk to you, but you don't talk back. Bars, baby. Let's get it, feeling squad. But you know what we do? Let's decipher that thing. Alright, let's break it up a bit. I still watch our shows. I still get our snacks. Those things, they just don't go away. You start to like things and you just like them. I put on shows that we used to watch during that 1 week rot binge that I was talking about in the other video, and I just had to turn it off after like a minute. It was hurting for real. It just didn't feel right. It wasn't until I started to like work out a few weeks later in my room and I ran out of some BS shows to watch. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try it again. I'm gonna put it on, put it back on, and I would realize like the loving to hate watch just overwhelms everything else. After you get over the first few parts of it, or the first few initial feelings that I was feeling about it. I realized I truly love to hate watch reality TV, because it's, usually when I'm watching stuff, I'm always thinking, trying too hard. I watch stuff, try to guess the ending, random foreshadowing, symbolism, what's a red herring, what's not going to be a red herring, what's going to come back in the climax, in the conclusion, because I don't know, I got issues, man. I just love doing that. So with reality TV trash, you're able to just turn your brain off and watch and just really just laugh at everybody, because that's what reality TV is for. It's try to make us feel better. It was hella sadness at times because the show was Love Island. It was a show that we watched a lot. Bullied my siblings into watching it too and everything. So that show is something. It became something. But sorry, I lost myself. It was hella sadness a lot of times because Love Island is just one of those shows you react to and you just talk and you gotta bicker and you just gotta fight with somebody about it for no reason. We could be on the same side and I'll still be fighting you for whatever reason, but that's what that reality TV stuff does to you. There's way too many times where like a chick was acting crazy, or she was saying some wild stuff, or the dude was being unreasonable, stuff like that, and I'd turn my head and I'd be like, yo, this chick is crazy, right? Don't you agree? Like, would you do something like that? Like, I real life had like whole sentences of dialogue coming out of my mouth, talking to nobody. I swear I seen her. I swear she was gonna respond. She was not there. She's clearly not there. But it was happening a few times, and it was pretty sadness. But it is what it is. That's just how it was. That's what we would do every day whenever the show was on, whenever our shows were on. You have a dialogue. I still get our snacks. Come on, the taste buds don't really change, kind of, but not really. So I still like the protein nugs, hazelnut creamer, the Costco protein nugs, hazelnut creamer, and their clusters. They're still pretty good. I still like to get them, still like to eat them, all that stuff. One of the first things we did, one of the first grown-up things that we did was get a Costco membership, and we started grocery shopping. And we still lived at our parents' home, so we're hella dumb. So I don't know why we were trying to grow up like that. But we didn't even really need anything. But in Chicago, Vegas, Colorado, not Wyoming. They don't got Costco's in Wyoming. But that's what we do, a grocery shop. We actually had to do it. You needed food to eat, all that stuff. We had a shared notes app, or notes like on the app and everything, and that was the thing that we, that's what you do when you're a grown up. You're not living off of somebody. You got a grocery shop, and the drive back just wasn't the same either. My brother took pretty hard offense to this, because I wrote this the 2 a.m. following him driving me back from Costco. So my bad, my fault. but that's how you feel. Blah blah blah. Repeat the bar, and the last two bars, I still talk to you, but you don't talk back. Like I was saying, talking to nobody. Still kind of low key talking to nobody. I'm in this room by myself talking, but hey, you guys are listening, so that's what's up. It was tough. It's tough, man. Like I was saying earlier, I randomly turned my head, talking, trying to have a conversation like she's there. I'd still go on walks, and I'd still reach for her hand. I still look at the sky at night, and I play our little star game we used to play when we were younger. Whoever could see the first star in the sky and stuff. All those things I still do. But obviously, she doesn't do any of them back. She ain't here. A little cuckoo, a little bit crazy, just a little bit. But alright, y'all know what it is. The F ain't for fields, it's for fantasy. So let's get into our deepest fantasies, baby. We had a bunch of comments the other day, so let's look into them. MVMT says, if that makes you uncomfortable, like why? LMAO. You think Chig has a chance to become tight end when? Coach seems to want that man involved. I replied, why? Why? Why did I make you feel uncomfortable? But I think as long as Jayden Daniels stays healthy, he'll be looking his way a lot. He could easily be a tight end one. It doesn't even seem like Debo's going to return either, and Ertz is coming back off an ACL, but I wouldn't, he shouldn't be that good or shouldn't be taking too much away. It should definitely be Chig doing all the work. I would love that they I would think that they give the reins to Chig at this point. I could see him taking Debo and Ertz's designed short plays, short pass plays, the screen plays and everything. I could totally see that happening. I got a comment here, PJ, we'll just say redacted. PJ redacted asks, Luther Vandross over Burden is crazy. How can we know Luther will be the wide receiver one? He barely did anything last year. Where can a noob like me learn? Who has Rome learn of stuff like this? I don't know what this guy having trouble. I was telling him I think you meant Luther Vandross over Rome, I think is what he meant. No, he put over Burden, which is the same name, same person. So maybe, but that's how I was going to answer the question. Rome missed the last 5 regular season games last year, and Luther Burden flashed heavily. Previously, Rome couldn't get past DJ Moore. The DJ Moore obstacle was in his way, as well as bricks for hands and his daddy making TikTok compilations, blaming Caleb Williams. But Burden has the opportunity, or when Burden had the opportunity, he snatched DJ Moore's chain. The Burden breakout is probably what led to Moore getting traded, if we're being honest, or like them confidently trading him away. Rome could still be good, but I see him like as a compliment, if we're being honest. The best you can hope as a Rome holder is Chase Higgins duo. You just hope it's like that, where sometimes Higgins outdoes Chase every now and then, but Chase is him, Where can you learn this stuff, though? Right here with me. I feel like those names come up a lot, so you'll just hear them anyway as you're watching the videos, but, I'm always answering questions in the comment section, so leave them. I'll answer them, put you on a video. Next comment, PJ Redacted again, also asked, should you trade for Kyler Murray? I'm assuming Kyler Murray, using higher round draft picks now, since we don't know if he will be starting. Are you joking? He's clearly starting. There's no way that J.J. McCarthy is going to start over him. He specifically chose the Vikings to start, to be that guy over there. I'm pretty sure that I forget the coach's name, but he even said that Kyler's going to be starting, or he alluded to it pretty heavily. So he's going to be starting. I would get him now. If the person who owns Kyler Murray doesn't know if he's going to be starting over J.J. McCarthy, bye right now. Get over there. I was saying, I think you forgot to specify one QB or Superflex, but I will answer for both. For one QB leagues, I'd give up a mid-second for him. He should be running enough, and that'll raise his fantasy floor. Damn, light went away. For Superflex leagues, I would go 2 seconds. I would try 2 seconds for sure. Could be as high as a 201 and a 27 seconds, something like that. I would also do a late first, 110, 112-ish area, whatever your league size is. I was saying the other day, I have rookie QB 108 to 110 in Ty Simpson out of Alabama. He'll probably be an Arizona Cardinal and sit behind Brissett all year anyway. He's just a year wasted on your taxi. Not wasted, but, he's just on your taxi for a year. I would easily have Kyler Murray over him. And then Kyler Murray still holds value after this year. So, after this prove it year. So, I think he's a great buy, even at this price. And I got another comment right here from Cade. He said, I like your content, keep it up. Hey, thank you, Cade. Shout out Cade, y'all. Shout out Cade. Well, let's get into our video today. We are going to do 5 buy lows. And I'll try to do some more sneaky buy lows and not big names that you'll probably already be hearing. Also try to structure it a little bit. I have my script already. So hopefully I'm not yapping too much. First guy is going to be Jayden Higgins. Currently his value is really depressed. His box score hasn't popped yet, so those league mates that only chase points and ignore the depth analysis like usage will certainly be down on him. He was inconsistent for most of the year, but towards the end of the season his role grew and Stroud really looked for him in the end zone. He had 6 touchdowns last season, solidified his role as the wide receiver 2 on the team opposite of Nico Collins. In the divisional round, he played 88% of snaps, and he was 6 for 10 for 59 yards. He wasn't a big-name rookie either, so he shouldn't have any hype insulation with him. All those factors create a discount window, and he would be the perfect buy low. You could sneak him into the deal as a throw-in or just trade for the low, just straight up for him. You could work your way in that saying that even if even that Tank Dell returns, makes his way back to the offense, like there's no way that they're going to leave him in there for 2 wide receiver sets anymore. Especially when he got smashed up blocking the first year. Tank Dell could actually help stretch the field and open up space for both Nico Collins and Higgins, so that should probably help their passing game, as well as the Texans trading for David Montgomery should be able to establish the run game. With the run game, opens up the passing game. You guys know how it goes. As long as Stroud isn't doing podcasts anymore and he's focused on training this offseason, the Texans should, they're definitely pointed up. The arrow is pointed up for them. And Higgins will definitely be the main beneficiary. He might be viewed as a roster clogger, maybe a wide receiver 4, but he could easily be a wide receiver 2, wide receiver 2 or 3 with upside. Buy low price. I would try to get away with 2/3. A mid to late second is my max for a buy low. You can like a guy as much as you want. If the price isn't right, I'm walking away. It's cool. One of my favorite strategies is sending 2 separate trades. So I'd send the 208 for Higgins, and then in a separate trade, I would send the like a 2028 second and give them the illusion of choice. If there's a choice, they'll probably think that one option is clearly better. Whatever option they choose, they'll be like, yeah, I got this guy. I definitely got him. This is definitely the better option, whatever it is. But in reality, it's just a second. You're okay with getting rid of either. But that illusion of choice definitely makes them think like they're getting the upper hand as soon as they make a decision, if they take your trade. You can also just throw them into a deal as a throw-in. I was looking at keep trade cut. And one of them is Derrick Henry, Ollie Gordon for the 201 and 2027 3 and Higgins. So you can tell the league mate that if you're the one who's giving away Henry and Gordon, you'd be like, Henry and Gordon, they should give me more than a 2 and a 3. I know that's a 201 and it's a 2027 3, but it's just a little bit more. Maybe give me a player back. You can throw in Higgins for me. He wasn't even good last year. That's just how it goes. You got to schmooze your way, talk it up. Or you could just send the offer like that and just include Higgins, and hopefully he's missed or not thought of as much because he's a smaller chess piece in this trade. This trade is definitely revolved around Henry and the 201, not Higgins. Ollie Gordon is also thrown in there. That 2027 3 is thrown in there, and Higgins is definitely thrown in there. This is Henry 201 is what you're looking at right when you see this trade. So something like that. Is definitely what I would try. Next guy we're talking about is Tory Horton. Hopefully, if he's on your league mates team, they low-key forgot about him. Even though he's a touchdown magnet and it was looking really good to start the year, he got injured and he was out for the rest of the season. Not only that, but right after the injury, right after they confirmed he was out for the season, the Seahawks traded for Rashid Shaheed. They won the Super Bowl without Horton. And then Shaheed in this offseason signed for a 3-year, $51 million extension. And that's a hefty price. That is a big price for a guy that they don't use. He's on the field a lot, but they're not actually feeding him the ball. His big plays are big plays, but they're not feeding him like that. Tory Horton's college profile made him a sleeper. He was a great late round pick in rookie drafts last year, and he was actually proven that he could produce even in that Seattle offense. Very JSN heavy, very run heavy. Shaheed is a good player, good NFL player, but in fantasy he didn't really do that much, and that really benefits Horton coming back. They could thrive together, and the big play threat of Shaheed will definitely open up the field for Horton and open up plays for him. Shaheed's targets were 1 target, 5, 2, 3, 5, 7, 1, 1, 1 for the season. When he was traded over to Seattle. In the playoffs, he had 2 targets, 3 targets, and 5 targets in the Super Bowl. That was it. So I don't see him being like an actual, being in the way of Tory Horton at all. Not like that. Tory Horton doesn't even necessarily have to do much more than what he was already doing in order to be worth trading for. With all that buzz and all the headlines on Shaheed, Tory Horton will definitely be a sneaky sleeper buy low. I was seeing on Keep Trade Cut, he's going for fourths. So send that fourth, man. Send it. If it takes 2 fourths, hey, so be it. If someone is really adamant about you'll take a 3rd round pick to pry him out of their hands, then you counter with my 3rd for your Horton and your 4th. You just haggle it and you try to get a little something back. Because a 3rd sounds a little too high for some guy who's off an injury and all that stuff that I was saying earlier, like with Shaheed and everything, all that happening. 3rd is a little high. It's still, he's probably still worth a 3rd, but that's not the point of buy lows. You try to get as much as you can for as little as you can. So getting a 4th back, that's diminishing the 3rd, or not diminishing, but it's taking the heat off the 3rd that you're losing because you're still getting an asset back in a 4th. This year, next year, I don't care. Bam, illusion of choice. That's what you tell them. Just give me a 4th, any 4th. Give me another player back that has value. That's how you do it. That's the art of the deal, baby. Next guy we're going to talk about is Rhamondre Stevenson. He will definitely have he definitely had an inconsistent 2025 in terms of production. The line was also inconsistent, especially in the latter half of the season. With big rookie name Travion Henderson as running mate, most will believe or put all the hype on a second-year breakout from Henderson rather than the aging veteran in Rhamondre Stevenson. The main reason I threw him on this list is because, like I was saying the other day, I just noticed that Patriots signed Reggie Gilliam, I believe, from the Bills, fullback from the Bills, to a 3-year contract. One of the top fullbacks in the league that helped James Cook to another tremendous season last year. This extra blocker leading the way in the backfield should benefit both Stevenson and Henderson, but reading the tea leaves shows that head coach Vrabel didn't even like the Henderson pick, and it really showed last season. I remember last season he was going on podcasts or whatever, blasting Henderson for his blocking, and that's why he would take him off the field at times, and he was saying this out loud very publicly. That one Stevenson wheel route, long touchdown play wasn't even practice for him. He said he didn't even run it like ever. He just knew what the play was, and that play was specifically for Henderson. Henderson would practice that play, but he took Henderson off the field for a blocking because he wasn't blocking, and they called that play for Stevenson, and he ran it perfectly. So stuff like that just really says they trust Stevenson more. And at least for right now, Henderson as the 2. He sees Henderson as the 2 in this 1-2 punch backfield. It's definitely how Vrabel is looking at it. It definitely shows, as well as he only runs Stevenson between the tackles most of the time, and Henderson, he'll give him the outside runs. So it's definitely, with that 1-2 punch, it's aligned, like how I'm saying. Stevenson should also have the high value touches again this year, goal line work, check downs, 2-minute drill. He should be, and the short yardage. He should be good for this season if you're in a playoff push, but he could also still limit Henderson's ceiling for the following season as well, but making him a good low risk buy low right now. I still see him with a consistent, reliable running back 2 floor with running back 1 upside weekly. It's also important to note that this is a buying dip. It's not a declining asset. Even rebuilders can throw him into deals and wait for a good game and sell him higher than what they originally paid for him. This is the Dynasty market, baby. So keep trade cut. I'm looking at it. I'm seeing 3s, a lot of 3rd round picks for him. 3-12, 3s and 4s. I'd do that easily. Any of those I would do. Late 2nd is probably my max as a buy low, and even with like a 210, 212, I'm still probably gonna haggle a 4th. Haggle some fab or a bum player just so it feels like it's a true buy low. I see trades for him for Josh Downs right now. So if you could throw a roster clogger, someone with a little bit of hype for him instead, or throw Josh Downs in a forward, something like that. If that's what your league mate wants, if that piques their interest, I would try that too. Next guy we're going to talk about is Gunnar Helm. He was a 4th-round pick last year, who was overshadowed by Chig Okonkwo, who didn't even do well himself last season, actually. He shouldn't be on anyone's mind right now. Everyone keeps they think of Chig leaving the Titans, and they're like hyped about the Commanders and his role there, but they're not even stopping to think like if Chig leaves, then someone has to come up for the Titans, right? No one's thinking about that. I see the sentiment around it. Nobody cares who his replacement will be or anything, because even Chig didn't do that well on the Titans last year. So why would they even think about that being a good spot? But I feel like the Titans spot in Dynasty is always slept on, and if you have a top 3 guy, you don't even have a backup tight end on your roster. And then with everyone else who doesn't have that top 3 guy, they just pick and pull from the waivers, chase points, chase touchdowns weekly. But getting in early is where real dynasties are built. In his last season, his last college season, he had 60 catches, 768 yards, and 7 touchdowns. He was a second-team All-SEC selection for Texas. He flashed last year in the NFL on the Titans, 55 targets, 357 yards, and 2 touchdowns, even being behind Chig all season long. Chig will leave a target void and a tight end void of 79 targets, 560 yards, and 2 touchdowns. You put them together, they're a pretty good tight end. They're probably a good, tight end 3 on the season or something if I were to just do the math in my head real quick. But, it doesn't work out nicely like that when you just the tight end position as a whole. But Gunnar Helm will definitely see a boost next season as long as the Titans don't add a competent tight end in the draft. Helm was a freak athlete with big play upside. He has good, strong hands, catch radius, body control, and he just wins in contested catch situations. He's literally only had 2 career drops in college, so he will be a great help and a safety blanket for Cam Ward. Typically, tight ends break out in their 3rd season, so we might be a little early here, but who cares? The situation is just too nice to ignore, to take a gamble on, to wait another year. Not to ruin the buy low for Gunnar Helm, I was checking out Keep Trade Cut, but the very first trade I seen was Gunnar Helm for Jonathan Brooks in a 3rd. Buy Helm, buy, you're gone, But looking at everything else, he seems like it's really fluctuating here. I see 2 forts for him. I see the 202. I see a 307 for him. I would check your market. I would check whoever has him in your league and get a feeler out there. I would pretty confidently give up a 3 for him pretty easily. Not sure if I go as high as a 2. We won't buy lows, so 2 is definitely not buying low on this guy. It seems pretty peak. Yeah, that seems like his peak value, not his value currently right now. I would start with a 4th and a player probably. Try to work out something from there. At least get the feeler out there is something I would do. So you don't get your league mate all butthurt and doesn't want to trade with you. So that happens, a lot too often. Too much emotion, too much sensitivity sometimes on league trades. Next guy we're going to talk about is Jordan Addison. He plays behind Justin Jefferson, and he's always in the news in the offseason doing something silly. Whether he needs to rush his dog to the hospital at 140 miles per hour, or he's getting arrested trespassing at the Hard Rock Casino. Random tangent real quick. I heard a podcaster once say in response to this that they were at the tables and at the casino, at the Hard Rock Casino. They were at the tables, and the tables were really hot, and they really had to pee. But, you can't leave when the tables are hidden. The tables are on fire like that. So the guy started to just pee in a cup under the table. He got caught, and you know what they did? They paused the game, escorted him to the bathroom. He did the deed. He came back, and they resumed play he didn't miss anything. He didn't miss anything at all. Didn't get arrested for whipping it out and peeing. Nothing. So it seems pretty hard to get arrested at the Hard Rock Casino, but, Jordan Addison, there's a will, there's a way, baby. So I don't know what he was doing, but he did something. I think it was a restaurant. He didn't want to leave or something like that, and they had to arrest him to get him out of there, or something like that. But he's already cleared of all that. But you can definitely use that in trade negotiations. This guy's a knucklehead and always does something every year, even this year already. Jalen Naylor also left the Vikings, so it's just JJ and Addison, and they should absorb all those targets unless they draft a competent wide receiver 3. But they might just stick with Ty Felton, and no one's, that guy's not taking any targets away from these guys. The addition of Kyler Murray should be boosting the entire offense, especially Justin Jefferson and Addison. If Murray stays mobile, Addison is definitely the one who's going to benefit more, since it will be hard to keep with that speed with him, who's a speedy receiver for more than 10 seconds usually. Whenever Murray can extend the plays, just running around back there. Without Murray, Addison was already a proven producer. He had an efficient role in a strong offense, and he knows his place, and he won't be a diva about it. Knows Justin Jefferson will always be above him. Doesn't have to get all crazy about it. Kind of like how Antonio Brown and Juju were a little crazy, and that just sowed dysfunction into the entire team. Really, the discount is in playing behind a superstar wide receiver who also had a down year. That whole offense had a down year, so you should be able to buy low. You could also throw in the idea that Murray loves, or in your trade talks, that Murray loves to hyper-target one guy, which is mostly true. That hyper-targeted guy will probably get 15 targets, but the secondary guy, which will be Addison in this case, will probably still have 8 to 10, which is still a lot. But in terms of hyper-target, yeah, that's true. JJ will probably get 15 targets a game. Addison proved to be Addison can provide a wide receiver 2 flex range with spike week upside. He has the nose for the touchdown, for the end zone. Check in keep trade cut, and there weren't really any trades for Addison for picks straight up. I do see Bryce Young for Addison straight up, Montgomery for him straight up. So it's probably around the second, third round range. I'd love to have them for a late second or lower as a buy low. But, if you got to do a mid-second, you know what to do. You got to haggle it. You got to add some stuff back to your side. Get that extra asset, nickel and dime it. Let's get all of it, get all of it back. He should be he is the most expensive one on this list, but he's young and he's still producing, and he's probably the most likely to hit. But I haven't seen people talking about it. I've seen people talking about Jalen Naylor more than him, actually. The guy who left, went to the Raiders. I'll give you guys one more bonus one, just real quick, because I've seen his name right now on Keep Trade Cut. Tyreek Hill. If you can get Tyreek Hill for a 2 fourths, send it. I'm still seeing him. I'm seeing him for a single late third this year, a single 2028 third. Send it. This should be a market play, really, too. Trade for him and then trade him as soon as he signs, or sell the news. Or you just need extra depth for a contender season. He has way too many baby mamas, way too many kids to be retiring right now. Those are just the tea leaves that I'm reading. So, he should still be productive for a little bit. Good time, not a long time, That's it, though. Hopefully these 5 buy lows were insightful, and they were names that you haven't seen or thought of before today. I hope y'all learned a little something from me about the art of the deal, schmoozing it up, to your league mates. How to haggle, how to nickel and dime it without being too douchey about it. But that's it for today. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And remember, rebuilds fade, dynasties reign.